There we go. You'll be able to hear me now. That's quite unfortunate. I thought that was a good intro, but that is a shame. But nonetheless, pretty much I described the lineups. New Zealand about to score the try. Now, Ronnie Black, I'll go through them again just so you guys know exactly who is out on the field. So for New Zealand, we'll speed run this. Tony Nashu, Sam Dixon, Scott Curry, Moses Leo, Akulia Rokalisoa, Narohi Magavi Black, Sione Molia. And then for the Irish, Andrew Smith, Jack Kelly, Harry McNulty, Mark Roach, Terry Kennedy, Jordan Conroy, and Sean Cribbin. Pretty much, I went on a big spiel about how Ireland had never beaten the All Blacks, but they've been extremely close many times in the sevens. And Narohi Magavi Black has just scored the first try of the semi-final. Pretty much what happened was, in between the two live streams, I had to reset my PC. And I guess my microphone also reset. Oh, Rokalisoa unable to convert that one. Doesn't quite have the distance that he was after. Looking to win their third consecutive Rugby World Cup sevens. No team has ever made 3 finals in a row. But New Zealand want to be able to do so. It looks like Andrew Smith already picking up a little bit of an injury. Now, I said the same thing as what I said last night, which is you cannot underestimate Ireland, though, because as soon as you underestimate them, that's when they beat you. New Zealand have had a great start in this contest, but they need to make sure they keep on applying the pressure, or else it could cost them this massive semi-final. But 1 minute down, 5-0 in favour of the Kiwis. Go New Zealand All Blacks sevens. So here's a Ryan Sims there. I'm very glad that you did tell me about that card, Crazy, because or else then I would have probably done this whole live stream without having any sound and not even realised that. But now, Roy McGarvey Blake. Oh, no, he's got another. That's going to make the score now 10-0. For New Zealand. Not the start to the match the Irish would have been after, although we have seen sides come back from 10-0 before. In fact, we've even seen it throughout this Rugby Sevens World Cup. But now Ronnie McGarvey Black scoring himself another try. And all good mate says Card's Crazy. And as takes the quick tap. In fact, he didn't even need to tap it. He just pretty much went with it. Narohi McGarvey Black scores the try for New Zealand again. And also, where can I watch this game live? Says Nalish, depending on what country you're in, mate. It will depend on whereabouts you can watch it. Whereabouts are you located? And I'll be able to help you out from there. And come on, Ireland, says Liam and Wright. And yeah, hopefully Ireland can get themselves just a little bit further back into this contest. 2 minutes gone, 2 tries for New Zealand. 2 unsuccessful conversions, though, which I feel will benefit Ireland just a little bit, as it still keeps them in this contest a bit more. Now, Rokalisoa about to kick this one off for New Zealand. That one is not going to travel the 10. Also went out. I'm in Auckland. Okay, so your best bet if you are in New Zealand is probably Spark Sport. If you haven't got Spark Sport, though, have you got a VPN? Nalesh, do let me know. Because from there, we might be able to help you out in terms of how to watch it with a VPN. If you don't have a VPN, though, we have got a link if you do want to check it out. New Zealand have never been defeated by Ireland. That's going to be another penalty to the New Zealand Sevens, and game will be finished by the time you load it up, Nalesh, bro. Although you will be able to watch the final a little bit later on at 6:54 a.m. New Zealand time. That is when that final will be taking place. Sam Dixon looks like he has healed up quite nice after taking that head knock last night. Isn't showing any real damage on the face. Rokalisoa takes the quick tap on the halfway line. I have bugger all Sky Sports. No Spark, says Nalesh. So yeah, if you have got a VPN, you can actually watch it on rwc7s.com. All you have to do with the VPN is set yourself to a different location. But then the only thing is a VPN normally will cost you some money, unfortunately. So if you are hoping to watch for free, they don't really have that option in New Zealand. But if you can set yourself to somewhere else, you will be able to do so. But we have got that link in the pinned comment for a VPN link if you do want a cheap one that also is effective and can set you anywhere in the world that you need to be. And then from there, you will be all set to go. Am I the only one cannot hear? Hamish says, Vinny, you must be at the start of the live stream, perhaps, Vinny, because I did have a few mistakes at the start. I didn't actually have the sound. I won't be able to watch the finals tomorrow, says No Mum. That's a shame. Hopefully you will be able to catch a replay of it, since it will be a nice early morning start for us here in New Zealand. And also, the imposter is here. Profile pic is black and starting with an eye. And good boy, Hamish, the way it is looking, New Zealand, or the way it's looking, New Zealand heading to the finals. So here's I there, although Ireland have got this position back now. Mark Roach. In fact, it's going to be Harry McNulty now with the carry. Trying to get Jordan Conroy freed up on the outside. He was able to do very well in that game up against the South Africans. And also, while my volume was low, although the thing is, I was muted for the first minute of this live stream, Vinny. So that may have also, might have jinxed it a bit. Nice work forward from Andrew Smith. He's doing well to still be out there because he did take quite the knock early on. The turnover was clean for New Zealand. Then it went back onto the side of Ireland. The player is penalised for playing it on the ground there. That's against Jack Kelly. And New Zealand get themselves another penalty. Every single penalty so far throughout this game has gone in favour of the Kiwis. Or in fact, sorry, no, there's one penalty that was against New Zealand. And thank you, Hamish. There's a Vinny in there as well. Right. New Zealand now. They've got themselves the scrum feed opportunity just inside of the 40-metre line of the Irish. 1 minute 30 or 90 seconds left on the board. Rokalisoa about to feed this ball in and go Ireland, says Vinny. Yeah, it would be great to see Ireland score themselves a try for the end of this first half. Currently still keeping it relatively close. Still only 10-0 in favour of New Zealand, which is pretty impressive from Ireland with how quickly it started. Great work from Terry Kennedy. Fights back for the ball. Naroni McGarvey Black does have to release that. Seeing as he's on the ground now, it's fired back across. I believe that's going to be their number 11. Sean Cribben, we haven't seen too much of him throughout this whole Sevens competition. Harry McNulty tries to get the quick offload going, but it did end up being a knock-on. Another try for New Zealand, I think. Says Nodmum there in the prediction stakes. And now the scrum feed might be there and ready to go for the Kiwis. Now McNulty, and then alongside him, Jack Kelly. Those guys are big in that forward pack when it comes to the scrum. But in New Zealand, they're one of the rare sides who were able to push Argentina over backwards during a scrum for the matches. But now Naroi McGarvey Black is going to be feeding this ball in the front row of Dixon, Scott Curry, and also in the middle, Tony Nyashu. Here we go. Big scrum coming up here. I can feel it from both sides. It's a big push. Oh, it's a good hustle for it. Ireland standing on the ball for a little bit of time, trying to hold it up. Now Mark Roach has to make the tackle on the short side of Rockley, so he was extremely close to the touchline. Sam Dixon asking for a penalty. It's going to be play on, though. You got to play to the whistle. Nice work there from Jack Kelly, the big man stepping around. Tries to go for the offload. That was about the worst one we have seen of the competition. Luckily, it's going back for the penalty to Ireland, though. 10 seconds after the halftime siren. Scott Curry probably lucky. Oh, there we go. Double blow of the whistle, and he will be going to the bin for throwing that ball away. In fact, no. Moses Leo has been penalised. So I believe that's actually a penalty for being cynically in the wrong place. Playing Terry Kennedy off the ball. It could have led to a try if he hadn't done so. And thanks, mate, says Mobile Upholstery. And there's Go New Zealand, yes. Says a read there. But yeah, for anyone who does want to be able to watch this game, if you are located outside of New Zealand, normally there is the option of rwc7s.com, and you will be able to see those ones on the match centre. But if you are in New Zealand and you want a cheap option to be able to watch the games, I do recommend getting that VPN in the pinned comment. Then from there, setting yourself to pretty much anywhere in the world on the list of available regions, and you will get not just this competition, but also all of the World Sevens series coming up. You'll be able to watch every single leg. So if Sevens your thing, be sure to check out that VPN link. Now back across, gonna be McNulty, sling and pass, beautifully done to Jack Kelly now. Getting close to breaking through for the Irish here once again. Good recycling of the ball. Mark Roach, ball on the outside. Conroy pins the ears back, gives it off to Terry Kennedy. Now to Roach. 1 minute 15 past at the moment for halftime, and now it's going to be the draw and pass. Kelly for the corner. Oh, that was late. That's going to be almost a double blow of the whistle as well. I think Scott Curry, is he going to go over and apologise? No, he just says, whoopsies. Didn't mean to do so, but sorry for smacking you in the back of the head. Jack Kelly scores it. Ireland's still in this game, and this is one of the biggest changes in a first half. For the fact that New Zealand scored twice in the very first few moments of the half, and to have Ireland continuously firing and firing again to try and get back into the contest. That's showing the fighting spirit of the Irish. I think in the second half, yeah, Scott Curry giving them a shot to the head after he put the ball down. Could be a yellow card, to be fair. He had put the ball down already. And also, yeah, try for Ireland, says Vinny. Now an important kick for Mark Roach. Oh, what a boot that is. Oh, it's at the post, though. That is a cruel game right there, because that was an absolutely sensational strike of the drop kick But it is going to be now 5 points to 10 going into halftime. New Zealand with the narrow lead. Like I mentioned, New Zealand have never been beaten by Ireland, but there's been a majority of the times over the last 2 years that they have been extremely close to being able to take down the defending Rugby World Cup champions. So perhaps now is it going to be the opportunity that they need? Water is great. I don't think my voice would still be here at the moment if it wasn't for the amount of water I consumed over the last 48 hours. Oh no, it's gone now. Now the fact that I've decided to say that it's still here, it's trying to disappear. Currently, 1 error apiece for these two sides. Visits to the opposition 22, just the one for Ireland, but they were able to score. During that visit, they had more carries, more passes, and now they want to try and get more points on the board by the end of this match. Next game that has taken place, I should mention, is going to be Australia versus USA. That will be taking place at 11:05 p.m. New Zealand time. And then the last game of the day for the semi-finals, that is, it is going to be that is actually Australia versus Fiji in that contest. Then from there, we've got a few other matches of the women's sevens that we are going to be covering for the semi-final and the final, or in fact, the third and fourth place playoff. We may be able to squeeze in as well, but we are certainly covering the final between New Zealand and more than likely Australia, and also all the men's matches we're hoping to fit in to the mid-morning schedule, I guess you could say, as it is going to be at about 4 a.m. that those games do start up. Sam Dixon doesn't get it cleaner because of it. Now it's going to be another try for Ireland, looking for the corner, and he's going to score it there. Andrew Smith fired up, and Ireland will have a chance to take the lead. Love the PowerShell reference on our jersey. The power. I always say that wrong, don't I? Is it power? Hopefully I've said that correctly. But Ireland, the four-leaf clover. Could the luck be turning around for the Irish? Nice work from Andrew Smith. A kick to come for Ireland. And coming through Irish. And boom, says Michael. And yeah, exactly right. Like I mentioned at the start of this game, even though I was on mute, you cannot underestimate Ireland. As soon as you do, they come back and they beat you. New Zealand, they would have thought they had the dream start to this contest, but ever since then, it's been all Ireland and the momentum shifting. 10 points to 10. 6 minutes left in the second half for a spot in the final. It would be the first time ever, I believe, that Ireland would be making their way through to a Rugby World Cup final as well. It's kicked off long by Andrew Smith. Good bit of a foot race from Terry Kennedy, but the ball just managed to bounce into touch. Probably a little bit lucky for New Zealand. Billy Dardis, the captain, out on the field now. He's looking fired up as he's ever been. He knows that this game is right in their grasp. All they need to do is take it with both hands, and they can find themselves through to the final to take on Australia or Fiji. Ireland have never defeated New Zealand in any competition of the sevens. Is a stat that keeps on popping up on the screen. Could today be the first time in history that we see it take place? There was a nice take from Dixon. It becomes the penalty for taking the man out in the air, and I believe New Zealand are considering going for the kick downfield. Now, this is risky. Reason I say that is because Harry McNulty in that game up against South Africa was able to get 2 turnovers in a row, completely changed the momentum of the game. New Zealand need to make sure, if they do kick this one into touch, that they don't allow McNulty to get that line-out turnover. And also, Ireland could have pulled this off. There's Nathan. They are just showing there, New Zealand, they were able to get themselves the first 2 tries in the first 2 minutes, but then from there, Ireland scoring 2 tries in 2 minutes in their own respective right. Now, Rokalisoa about to be the line-out throw. Waiting to throw it in. McNulty goes up. He steals it. I called that one beautifully. I mentioned how dangerous he can be in a line-out. I think I got so excited because I normally get everything wrong. So that was a nice little moment for myself. Bit of a pat on the back moment. Nice kick across field. Foot race here. New Zealand need to try and win it, but Moses Leo protects it beautifully. A lot of pressure, and the penalty goes the way of New Zealand for the early tackle from Jordan Conroy on his opposition there for Rokaliso. And now New Zealand using their backline. Sione Molia, I see, has made his way out onto the field. Same with that big man at number 2, Amanaki Nicole. Tony Nashu fighting for every extra metre he can get. Quickly recycled for New Zealand. Roka in the midfield. Got McCarvey Black on his outside. Now stepping beautifully. Finds the offload forward to Ronnie McCarvey Black. Or in fact, he hit the ball. Now Amanaki Nicole goes one more to Tony Nashu. New Zealand trying to break through for their first time in about 8 minutes. It's getting close for the number 12, Sione Molia. Doesn't look like Regan Ware has quite made his way out onto park as of yet. Now Roka Lisoa trying to go through. Andrew Smith able to take him down. New Zealand trying to take the momentum back, but they haven't been able to cross the line as of yet. Scott Curry, one more to Tony Nashu. Brilliant one-on-one defence from the Irish here. Every tackle being made exactly what you need in a semi-final scenario. Now it's going to be a good run from Amanaki Nicole. Normally extremely hard to put down, but Terry Kennedy's been able to do just that. Moses Leo cut out past now New Zealand. Only 2 metres short of the line. And round the side, he's dropped it. It's been put down by Moses Leo. I believe it's gone backwards, though, so I'm wondering what the scenario is here. But I know that Moses Leo hasn't scored that try, and crack up if Ireland win, says Jamie Heritage there. And also, this is an intense, come on, New Zealand boys, get tired. So he goes down, last-ditch tackle there, knocks it out of his hand. It's gone backwards in the knockout. But that is a brilliant bit of work from the Irish number 5. Like they're saying, it is still live when that ball goes down. So you'd have to say, if anything, it's a 5-metre scrum for New Zealand. Because it was in the field of play. I think the referees made a big mistake there, thinking it was a knock-on rather than keeping the ball in the field of play. Now, I was going to say it could be a penalty against New Zealand for playing the ball on the ground, but because it was knocked out of his hands, he has every right to be able to regather that, I believe. So it's been knocked out. It's gone backwards. I think the referee now is just realizing, how are we supposed to work out what's going to happen here? New Zealand coach, or the New Zealand captain, going over extra time. There is a chance that we may see it happen, although still 3 minutes left of regular time. I have high hopes for Ireland. Yeah, they've been extremely close to beating New Zealand multiple times throughout the last year or so. So, Ruben, I have a decision. The ball has been knocked on by Green, so that is going to be a 5-metre scrum for New Zealand. I believe that is the right result in the end, because it did go backwards out of the hands of New Zealand, but it did go forwards from when the Irish player did end up hitting it. It was a good game. Come on, Ireland, and cricket collapsing again, says Annoy. I'll have a quick look what we're sitting at for the cricket. 112 for 5. Kane Williamson just run out by Labuschagne 18 minutes ago. That's not ideal. How many runs do they need in that game up against the Aussies? I know they kept them relatively slow scoring for the start. Currently now 2 minutes 50 left. Going to be another hiccup from myself. I think I'm going to have them by the end of this match, just from the amount of water that I've been glugging throughout these live streams. Okay, try for New Zealand coming up, I think, at 268 to win, says Neelish there. Kurt Baker, he is back out there on the field for the 51st tournament that he has taken part in. Now, they were able to crown themselves as LA Sevens champion. Also 2013, 2018, and 2001 are the times the New Zealand Rugby Sevens side has been able to win. It looks like Ireland are complaining about something that is happening there. I believe that is the number 4 there, Brian Mullen, saying they're grabbing me in a weird way. And it looks like the Black Cats will be losing by 3-0, said Nalesh. Yeah, not the best tournament for them, that's fair to say. Or the tour for them, I guess. And Go Ireland, says Joseph. They are still well and truly right on this one. Great scrum, holding strong, but now New Zealand have got the backline opportunity. Going to be out wide to Caleb Tangitao. He's so powerful, but just 1 metre short. Now around the side, Narohi McGarvey Black, instead of going around the side and making the same mistake as we did see a bit earlier on, New Zealand decide to use their backline. Scott Curry, one more out to Amanaki Nicole, one-on-one, always dangerous. So luckily, the Irish had 2 out on the wing. Now Nashu goes across to Kurt Baker. One more, a lot of experience for New Zealand out there on the park. Narohi McGarvey Black with a quick step and feet. Scores the try. Does a bit of the wiggle celebration there with the wiggly fingers. And New Zealand will take the lead. I've been looking forward to this, says David. And does New Zealand want Ireland to win? Finally, says Nathan. And also another 150 or so, says Annoy. Yeah, that's going to be tough to do, actually. Get themselves that many more runs without losing the 5 wickets. But McGarvey Black, he's had a great game throughout this matchup. Running hard, putting the ball down over the try line and saying thanks very much for coming. Now, there is still time on the clock, though, I should mention. New Zealand taking the lead, but the game is not over. We have got 60 seconds left, and that kick has gone over. Are you doing bloody slow? Says Nerf Boy. Are you doing bloody slow? I assume you're talking about how there's a little bit of a delay compared to when I'm saying it and maybe when you're watching live. The reason being is I am on Spark Sport here in New Zealand, which is always about 30 seconds behind live, if that is what you're saying, Nerf Boy. And also, come on, boys, says Levi. Go Ireland, says Timothy. And also, go Ireland, says Cecilia there. As well, that kick has gone into touch. New Zealand have made the mistake there. And now it does mean that Ireland will have the quick tap from the halfway line. There is a high chance that we go to extra time in this contest, which would mean the next game between Australia and USA may be delayed just a little bit so that they can allow for this game to continue. But 8 seconds on the clock. A short delay. Just pause the TV to sync. And thanks, mate. Really appreciate you doing this, says Nalish. And we are going to be back for all of the finals matches as well that we can fit in. Definitely the final. Definitely the bronze final for the men's as well. And don't let Ireland score. They are doing very nicely currently. Are you doing the Bledisloe? We certainly are. It's going to be on Thursday night that first match has taken place. Conroy doing nicely with the carry. McNulty goes across. Could this be the closest we have ever seen the Irish to beating the ABs? That is in sevens, of course. It's going to be stolen. And Amanaki Nicole runs close to the touchline strategically. Gets forced into touch. And New Zealand have won it. And that is going to be them moving through to the final to face off against the winner of Fiji versus Australia. Ireland find themselves in the third place playoff, facing the loser of that matchup. As I you the MVP, my guy, says Timothy. Yep, we are going all through the night. The last live stream we are doing is at 7 a.m., which is in 8 hours' time, if the AB says QQQ, and they're not too happy with the result of that one, but they will be making their way through to the final. Ireland should have won, says QQQQ. And also GG, says Timothy, in New Zealand, says Cooper Cronk there. But great game, Ireland. And here the boy, says Levi. And once again, unfortunately, it just seems to be so close yet so far away for the Irish. They always get extremely in the game. Like, they were 10-0 down and they fought back hard, making a 10-0, and then New Zealand just scoring with 1 minute left on the clock to change it around. So close, says Liam Einright. I think the win for Ireland up against New Zealand is coming within the next year. They've never done it before. It's certainly just around the corner because every single time they push the ABs into deep water, if Ronnie McGarvey-Black wasn't playing as well as he was, this could have been a whole different game. And yeah, the boy says Levi. And also so close. And Fiji should win, says Chavanel. And now they have got their game coming up. That will be up against Australia in the very near future. That is at 11:33 p.m. We will be starting that one at 11:30. So 30 minutes time. But the next game we are covering is Australia versus the USA. But thank you all very much for tuning in. If you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Is Fiji going to play soon? They have got 30 minutes until they make their way out onto the park to take on the Australians. And thanks for the commentary, mate. Much appreciated. Says Card Crazy. And like I mentioned, we're going to be back with plenty more of the Sevens later on, a couple previews along the way as well. And be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. Also, yes, Fiji soon, says Timothy, and unlucky for Ireland. Well done, gave New Zealand a run for it. Exactly right. Every time these two sides push each other, and they do continue to make each other stronger. And unless I will see you all in a very short moment for Australia versus USA in the women's semi